Hi everyone, welcome to my beginner's guide on Elden Ring. The first thing I would recommend is picking your starting class and going with the Vagabond. The reason why is because the Vagabond comes equipped with a decent weapon, a very good shield and also decent armor. It is a very good starting class if you are maybe struggling with the game at the start and you want to just get off the ground running. But I would recommend to try out all the other classes first, just start a new character and pick some of the classes. You might find that another class might suit your playstyle better. So I'm going to go with Vagabond and I'm going to go really quickly through here and just get started into the game as quickly as possible. If you go to Keepsake, I would recommend picking up the Golden Seed. Probably the most useful item at the start. And we'll go over the reason why. So when you load into the game for the first time, as you can see, we're fully decked out in some heavy armor, a decent shield and a decent sword. You can play with this equipment for a good period of the game, so that's why I do recommend going with this class. So let's go over some of the simple basic tips and tricks to get you started. To do a light attack, you're going to click R1. If you click R1 several times, you can create a combo. If you hold R2, that will build up for a strong attack. Clicking it will just give a quick strong attack, but if you hold it, that can really break your enemy's poise. If I hold L1, as you can see, I hold up the shield, so it's good for blocking incoming attacks. And L2 is a parry. So if you time the parry right, when an enemy attacks, we can parry and that will leave an opening. I'm not going to pick up any of these items along the way. I just want to get out and start getting into some combat and showing you exactly how it works. So triangle is to open. We do need to actually go over to this item first. I will be doing some more advanced guides on Elden Ring and showing you what the different items can do, but for the moment we're just going to get down to the first boss of the game, which is the first enemy. Clicking in the L3 analog, you will go into a crouch, so good for sneaking around. Circle is a roll, and as you can see, the roll is actually a slow roll, and the reason why that is because we're wearing heavy armor. So it's really up to yourself. If you want to strip yourself of a little bit of armor so pressing the options, if we say take off these two, now we've got a quick roll, so we're a little bit more quicker in combat, but we're obviously going to be a little bit more of a glass cannon. So we're going to get into our first combat, which is the first boss of the game, and this is a great test at the start, but chances are you're going to die. So I'm just holding up my block, and as you can see, my stamina is draining in the top left hand corner, and the stamina is your green bar. I'm not expecting to win this fight, but you never know. So you're just waiting for an opening. I'm holding my shield up all the time, and then when I get a chance, I'm dropping it, and that will fill your stamina back up. So holding the shield constantly is not good. When you have an opening and the enemy isn't attacking, it is good to drop your shield and get your stamina back up. So here's a little opening. We're just going to get a little hit in. We actually got destroyed there. That's okay. And as you can see, we're just in control here. If you click in the R3, that will lock on to your enemy. So as you can see, the white reticle. So now it means we're locked on. And with any Souls game, or in this game Elden Ring, enemies have certain attacks. So as you can see, he's doing the same attack over and over again, and then the enemy will change it up. But they usually have about 5 or 6 different attacks. So we know that he's got that little stab. That's the combo attack that he has. He's got that rolling attack, and then he's got one that he jumps up into the air. I know I'm calling it a him. I mean, it could be anything. Okay, so there was the leaping attack. It's fine that we die. You're not meant to win that fight at the very start, because it doesn't bring you back to the start and you have to start again. It actually loads you into the main area. So what I would recommend, if you're new to the game, is drop down here. And this is like the tutorial mission of Elden Ring. And this is the first time there's been a set tutorial like this. I can't remember one happening in any other game. So we're going to touch the grace. What this is going to do is, essentially, it's a save point. So if we rest at the grace, and you have to make sure that you rest at it for it to save. If we go to flasks, we can add charge to flask. Remember I told you to take the golden seed? So that will increase the number of flasks that we have. If we go into our equipment, we now have 4 flasks of Crimson Tears, which is how you heal yourself. And these are to regain your FP, which is used for magic and some weapon arts that I'm not going to talk about now. So here's our first standard enemy, and I just want to aggro him a little bit. So the great thing about the Vagabond is I can hold up my shield, and this guy is not going to do any damage to me. So it's good to know that the Vagabond has a shield that is 100% defensive against physicals. And we can just literally stand here in front of him till the end of time, and he's not going to get a shot in. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to wait for an opportunity. So now we're going to try. And we're going to hit him with that combo. So by tapping the R1 button. Again, we're going to hold it up to this enemy here. Wait for him to attack. Now we could actually attack there, and I'll show you. So let's strike first. So you don't need to be standing there with your shield up constantly. We can run in, and we can use our R1 twice to give that double combo. We keep pushing through. Press X to jump. So we do have a crossbow soldier trying to kill us from up there. Don't think he drops down, but I think we end up going up to him anyway. So our next enemy has a shield, just like ourselves. So how are we going to get through the shield? Well, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. First, we can wait for him to attack. The second is we could actually try and roll around him using the circle and get an attack in. So I'm going to try and do that. And we can't really roll in these this armor that we have. So we're just going to wait for him to attack. Yeah. And I just baited him there by hitting off his shield. He thought he had an opening, and we got our shield right back up. And then we were able to attack him. So don't get too flustered when you're up against enemies with shields. What I'm going to show you here then is clicking R3, and that will bring up your reticle for your enemy, so you're locked on. And we do have somebody with a crossbow here trying to get me, and this is the soldier that I was talking about. So again, just hold up your shield. He's not going to be able to hit you. Keep pushing, and then you have an opening. And that was a combo of 4 moves there, so clicking R1 4 times. So these are quite squishy at the start of the game, but definitely a great way of getting used to the combat. This guy's on the ground, so we're not going to give him a chance to get up. Keep pushing through. Click R3 to get the reticle up. Now we're locked on. He's after missing. And then we're going to R1. Same again. So this time we're going to try and parry this guy. So we got to wait for the attack to come in, and we've got to time it perfectly. So clicking the L2 button. There we go. So when we parried, that opens up for a visceral attack. You can see he turned red, and then we click R1, and that will deal a lot of damage. So let's go into our first proper boss. Let's use all those skills that we've learned. So let's hold block up. Let's get a few. So I'm sticking to his left. And as you can see, he has no hope. Yep. Oh, that was a 3-hit combo. So let's finish him with a heavy attack. And the first main boss is down. If we hold the circle, that will run as well. So we're just going to run through. I actually think I'm going the wrong way. Yep, so much for showing you how to play the game. I can't even go the right way. So let's push on through, and then we are actually at the other end. So as you can see here, we dropped down here earlier on. Grab that. Jump down here. And what I will say to you, look out for these golden trees, because they can spawn the golden seeds that we need to upgrade our flasks. Let's push through. Again, we're going to touch the grace here. And we're also going to rest. Make sure you rest after you touch, or it's not going to save for you. What happens then is all the enemies respawn. So you can literally do that again and go back and get as many enemies killed as possible and really get used to the combat. But we're just going to keep pushing on. But I would recommend, if you get out into this world and you are struggling, just go ahead and run that again as many times as you feel comfortable, because there is a lot to learn there. You've got different enemies that you will be meeting fairly early on in the game here. So again, we're just going to touch the grace, and now we're out into the main area of the game. Then what we're going to do is we're going to talk to this friendly man here. Again, I'm not going to listen to what he has to say, but what you need to do is you need to follow this path of grace. So it's leading to that church. This knight here, avoid him until later on in the game. He is quite difficult. I can kill him. He may kill me once or twice, but he is quite difficult, and especially without a steed as well. So what I'd say is just go around him. You can start picking up some items here. So raw fruit is used to feed your steed. And there's also a yellow flower. If I can see one, I will definitely pick it up. There's a yellow flower for co-op play. I can't see it just there. So Church of Ella, get this item, which is a smithing stone. Talk to this merchant here. You can buy some important items off him. Don't need anything yet. And then we're going to sit at this grace. And as you can see, we've got our trail going this way, so that's the way we're going to go. So we push through here. And then we're up against the enemies that we faced in the opening area. So we know what to do here. He does have a torch, which he does use. But if you're aggressive with him after he attacks, you can take him down pretty quickly. Again, I'd recommend exploring this area. There's a few enemies around here, so again, getting used to... here's the yellow flower. Getting used to the combat is key at the start. So the early flower is used for co-op. This guard is looking after an item, which we're going to pick up. He's got some throwing knives. So again, these enemies are no match for this class of character. This area here is very difficult if you are new to the game. You can get overwhelmed pretty quickly, and there are different enemy types. So I'll show you how to deal with crowds of enemies if we do get overwhelmed here. So I'm making sure that my health is full, which is the red, and stamina is the other one that we need to look out for, which is the green. So he has a shield. He went on the attack first, and that broke his shield, and we were able to get the attack in. So let's go up this way. So you can be tactical here. You can also go into crouch. And I'll show you one of the crouch attacks now in a second. If we can get up on an enemy without him seeing us. I thought there was an enemy here a second ago. As you can see, it wants us to go to that grace over there. So you can literally just run over there if you want. Alright, let's see. So we're going to lock on. I'm going to try and get in behind, and then R1, and that will backstab. And as you can see, the amount of damage is crazy that you do with a backstab. I didn't see him at all, so don't panic. Get your shield up, and then get your attack in when he misses his attack. I'm using R1 mostly here because the weapon is powerful enough with just the R1. He's got a brass shield. I don't think it's better than what we have, but it is always good to look. So we can't actually use it just yet. We need 16 strength. And strength is definitely a stat you're going to be upgrading with this character, because a lot of the gear that you're going to be picking up, or that you're going to be using, is going to be heavy. So you need the strength to be able to carry it. That's definitely the main stat. Now, we've got some hounds here that we have to deal with, which can be quite difficult as well if you're new to the game, because they can be so aggressive. So I'm going to get rid of him first. We're going to try and just bait one out. And what they do initially is they pounce for you, and if we can block that with our shield, it'll give us a chance to attack. He's actually been quite tame there, but there is another one. I'm just not sure where. So clicking in the L3 is going to allow us to crouch. So we're going to take this guard out. I think we aggroed. No, we didn't. He has turned around though. I want to get this hound to aggro towards us. Okay, we're going to be able to do it here. Here he goes. So there's like a side headbutt that he does. So again, we're just going to bring them up the hill here. Hopefully the hound comes out ahead first. Yeah. So hold the shield up. There's that pounce, and then just a combo, double hit combo. Oh, he's after breaking my shield. So the reason why that happened is because we didn't have enough stamina to take that hit. And that's the reason why stamina is so important. So it's a good chance to get in. Perfect. There's another site of grace up there as well. But remember what I said, if you sit at a site of grace, then all these enemies are going to respawn. So okay, so here is like the main, let's call him the commander of this area. He's got a very good shield. You can see that his eyes are glowing yellow. So some enemies will have that, meaning they're going to give off more grace when you kill them. And he takes off an awful lot. So this guy is quite difficult. Just get a feel for him first. I'm going to try and move to the right. Try and get in and around. Here he goes. Okay, we got a backstab. And as you can see, he's got a lot of health, but... Okay, back it up. Because he's after getting me good. He might kill me here. No, we're good. He's breaking my... Oh, he went double-handed. So that's exactly what we want. Oh, he's... And we got another backstab on him. As well with the backstab, when they hit the ground, your lock will actually come off them. So make sure you click R3 in again, and that will lock onto them again. And that's probably the hardest enemy in this area to deal with. The rest are just the normal soldiers, so we'll just have a quick look through. An area here that you need to go into is down here. So what I'll do first is I'll make sure that everybody is out of here first. We're going to hit this guy with a heavy attack. And him blowing that horn has actually led everyone over here, so just take your time. As you can see, just holding this shield up. And if you are being overwhelmed, back it up. Get a potion in. Get one shot in, and now we're only down to 2. So it is important when you're trying to control the crowd that you're going for the weakest enemy. Okay, now we're down to 1. So a little bit of a commitment there. I knew I was going to get hit, but it was worth it because it cuts the pack down. And that red mist that you've seen around me, that shows me that everybody is gone here. If we go here to this area, that will unlock part of the map. So now we can actually look at a massive chunk of the map. And this is where we started. This is the Church of Ella, and this is where we are now. So after that, we are going to sit at this site of grace, because this is what it wants us to do. And hopefully it does trigger a cutscene, which it does. And the reason why this cutscene is so important is because you get your steed. So I'm not going to show you the cutscene, and there's also another important aspect of this cutscene as well. So accept that you want her to be your maiden. She gives you the spectral steed whistle, so we're allowed to call our steed, and we can also level up now.
Shall I turn your share them with me?
So we can use the runes then that we've gathered from fallen enemies to upgrade.
The principles you would follow.
What I would say is vigor is health, always an important one. You can never go wrong with more health. Mind is not going to be important for this build. Mind is for FP, which is related to some of the weapon arts and mainly magic. If you're building a sorcerer build, you would want to have more points into mind, but I'm not going to touch that. Endurance allows you to increase your stamina. Strength obviously is for max equip load, and it allows you to carry heavier weapons and heavier armor. Dexterity is more for a quick build, that if you're going to be using light armor along with the likes of katanas, you would add to the dexterity. Intelligence, Fate and Arcane we're not going to worry about. They're linked to magic, and I will do a magic build in a future guide. So we're going to give ourselves 1 into Vigor, Endurance and Strength. We're going to click OK, and that's leveled us up to level 12. We're going to click the options button, and then if we click left on our D-pad, we can add torrent to down. So what you're going to do is you're going to click the D-pad, you're going to click triangle, and then you're going to select the spectral steed. So the way you can use these quick items is by holding triangle, clicking down on the D-pad. And now we can traverse a lot quicker than we were able to previously. The next thing I would recommend doing is going back to the area where the church is. If you click the circle button, it'll give you a little speed boost. Let's rest at that grace. So that is my beginner's guide on Elden Ring. If you have any questions at all, I'm sure there's lots that I've missed. I am going to be doing more guides on different builds. Please hit the like, please subscribe to the channel. I've nearly hit partner, and it would just be amazing by the end of the year if I became a YouTube partner. It's my goal of the year, and these videos seem to do really well. And thank you so much for the support and all the comments. It's just been an amazing time on YouTube these past couple of years, and getting to interact with everyone that loves this game and the other games that I play is really why I do it.